Other interesting business news, you have Stellantis announcing more layoffs due to the UAW strike. Now, Stellantis, for those who aren't gearheads or in the automotive community, Stellantis is the new European parent company behind Chrysler, which is also behind Dodge, and Jeep, predominantly in the US. They, of course, own dozens of other brands, including Fiat, Maserati, and brands I can barely pronounce. But it's one of those things where after the UAW is a contributing factor to why Chrysler went bankrupt in 2009, well, they got bought out by a European conglomerate. So it used to be FCA or Fiat Chrysler America. It got rebranded yet again in 2022 to Stellantis, or Stellantis, if you feel so inclined to sound a little bit more European. Now, it looks like specifically the ongoing strike is going to affect 570 employees. So unfortunately, Stellantis has to lay them off because the UAW is, in terms of politics, they're being very strategic in their nice way of saying. So what's a more eloquent way of saying strategic, gangster? They're partial strikes. So instead of paying all the employees or all the UAW members $500 a week to hold a picket sign and to not work in a particular factory, they're just taking some of the employees off and striking a partial strike. Now, this is very brilliant in terms of politics because instead of having to pay all employees $500 per week, because the UAW, United Auto Workers, has a slush fund of about it's estimated between $820 and $840 million to pay out so that they don't have to work for the strike. Instead of paying the whole factory, it's just a couple employees. And apparently Stellantis, like GM and Ford, they don't cross-train their employees. So we have a couple employees at a factory that are gone because of the strike. Well, in that case, the whole plant kind of comes shuttering to stop, which is ridiculous, the fact that they don't cross-train employees and or have more robots. Another topic for another time, perhaps. Now, this has led to the parent companies, so the actual businesses, GM, Ford, Stellantis, doing layoffs. So it looks like specifically Stellantis is laying off 570 additional employees, and these are going to be primarily at the Michigan plant, which is primarily known for their engine manufacturing, which is another hilarious thing about the UAW in general, that they actually paid for their own demise. The UAW is known for being very politically active, and they pay a lot of money to get people elected, and ironically, the people they got elected are the same people that are trying to destroy the most profitable things that the automotive companies make, which is internal combustion engines. And it's always pushing them to go to attempt to compete with Tesla. Whether they can or cannot, time shall tell, but let's just say when I'm looking at the Magic 8 Ball, I would say the outlook is not so good. Also, Tesla has lower cost of labor even before these contract negotiations, so there's a lot of competitive advantages that Tesla has. But nevertheless, in terms of it's unfortunate that you have to lay off about 507 employees at this Michigan plant. Now, they also noted that a mill facility in Sigdonia Automotive Detroit also let go of 143 of its 232 employees in order to reduce work because of the reduced work from the strike. And all this data is actually coming from the Michigan Worker Adjustment and Retraining Notification Act, which is a political act because of its clunky, awkward title of an act. Although I suppose it's better than we have something coming out of the House of Representatives where it's just simple H137B AY Banana Falcon, or whatever numerical denotation they use for a bill. Now, it seems to be that Stellantis is a little bit closer with contract negotiations. Again, the UAW originally wanted $80 to $100 billion over the course of a 4-year contract, which would have subsequently bankrupt Stellantis again. Ironic, perhaps. So it'll be interesting to see if they can get close to a deal that won't cause them to go bankrupt and won't further erode any, I was going to say, I don't think they have any competitive advantages currently, but it'll be interesting to see as they are forced to go from, again, making very profitable V8s that everyone loves to now making EVs for the 19 people who want to purchase them from Stellantis. It'll be interesting to see if the company can survive. So there's a lot of things in the air. It's a whole revolution in the automotive community, but I don't want to say they asked for it, but they kind of did because, again, it's who they got elected. And they also are complaining about inflation, which, again, who they got elected. Ironic to say the least. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Again, I know we're trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of October, so if you can click that button, I'd greatly appreciate it. Also, the feedback is greatly appreciated in the comment section as we make the show better and better together. Lastly, don't forget to take the time to like it because that also helps out the video to get shared more and more. And also, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.